Europe, whenever they tell us about how some people are very pissed off when it comes to Black African history, at times we in Africa might not really understand what they are talking about, if you know what I mean. We might not really understand what they are talking about unless we see one or two samples. And that is why some of our people here in Africa are still have not still yet convinced that our true enemy is the people that are claiming to be good towards us. You know what I mean? It is because since we are not living with them, some of our people have not really yet understand what it is like and what they truly think of us. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because of what I saw from Facebook pages, from social media platforms that wants to talk about African history, that is promoting African history, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about the Yasuke that was trending online, and especially Ubisoft, because Ubisoft just released a video game that is known as Assassin's Creed, and it portrays Yasuke as a samurai in the video game, and there is a movie that is going to be released based on Yasuke, if you all know what I mean. And in the movie, they are going to portray Yasuke as a samurai, and it is not as if Yasuke is not a samurai, all right? Yasuke is a samurai. Yasuke is an African that came out of Mozambique, Mozambique from Africa, excuse me. He came out from Mozambique and he went down in Japanese history as a black samurai, as the only African samurai in Japanese history. And the funny part of it is not even us Africans or black people that are saying this. It is the Japanese culture themselves. They know of Yasuke. All right. So it's not even something that maybe as the people will say that maybe black people are trying to come out with something that is lies in order to feel good of themselves because they don't have maybe their history is just based on slavery and stuff like that, because that is what they easily come up with whenever they see black history or something that is going to elevate black people historically. Like they always want us to believe that our history is just from slavery, if you know what I mean. And to an extent, I'm also feeling like we are also giving them the chance to also seal this thought in their minds. Because why am I saying this? If we look at our black historical movies, we all are going to realize that majority of them just focuses on the slave trade era, which we have so many histories, we have so many great things that talks about our history. And maybe I'm going to be coming up with a video that talks about an African emperor that ruled the Mali Empire that is known to be Abu Bakari II. He was the king that was presently then after he took off to a voyage in the Atlantic Ocean in order to explore other worlds, which he went with around 2,000 ships. And he took upon him craftsmen, builders, a lot of people with him in order for him to go and explore other places. And these stories are not being told in historical movies, if you know what I mean. So it really makes me to think that we are also giving them this opportunity, because these are historical facts that whenever a black movie wants to be portrayed, these are the things that they need to be come and showcase it in historical black movies. Not only talking about slave trade all the time. You want to watch black historical historical movies. It always deals with slave trade, if you know what I mean. So this past time that I went on social media. I saw guys are not they are hunting down every single Facebook pages online, every single page, every single, in as much what I did on Facebook, YouTube, whatever page that talks about this Yasuke, they are hunting it down because they know that it is African history. And they have just believed that apart from slavery and colonialism, black people don't have any other history. The same thing goes with Egypt. They will believe everything about ancient Egypt, but when it comes to ancient Egypt being depicting as, a black civilization from the story of Cleopatra that happened recently, that the entire Egyptian country had to sue Netflix because Netflix was about to do a documentary that talks about Cleopatra and portrays her as a black character, if you know what I mean. So these people, these guys, they are all okay if meanwhile Hollywood has been portraying, Egyptian movies, portraying documentaries of Cleopatra, that Cleopatra is not even doesn't even look like a modern day Egyptian. You know what I mean? They totally most of the characters that are portrayed Cleopatra in documentaries and in movies, if the characters are 100% from American, if you look their heritage, they will tell you that they are from America, from Canada, from Britain, and other stuff like that. But Egyptians, they are somehow okay with that. But when it comes to Netflix trying to portray Cleopatra as a black character, it unfortunately pissed off the entire country. So this just shows how these guys don't want anything that is great about African history. They don't want anything that will elevate Africans up. They just want us to stay below. You know what I mean? Like they have from decades, centuries, they have always believed, and that is what they have always told them about Africans and black people. And so they are just like, we cannot believe anything out of you guys being slaves and colonialism and stuff like that. So this is what I said. When I saw what happened, all these comments from these guys talking about Yasuke, they were so pissed. If I mean pissed, you are when you are reading someone's comment, you are really seeing the expression. Like if you were supposed to be there physically to see the guy's face, you are seeing it on the comment, how this guy is really really pissed off, and it's not something normal. You know what I mean? And so, in our own aspect, what we supposed to be doing is that we supposed to come out, we supposed to explore our African stories. Every black producer, every black movie producer that is out there, that wants to produce, that want to talk about African stories, you should come to Africa. All right, you should come to Africa, ask questions. There is a lot of historical sites. There is a lot of people that will tell you about African history, not the ones that they tell you, the ones that they portray on mainstream media and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So these people, I think these people are always pissed of African history, are always pissed off about African greatness. It is because they want us to remain where we are. They always want to feel superior over us. They always want to feel, and I'm not saying this in the aspect of maybe hatred. No, I'm just saying us as a people collectively, we must understand this. You know what I mean? And we must not always show our children or show our kids historical black movies that always talks about slave trade, that always talk about maybe it is from after the slave trade period, then we start doing things. No, that is not what black movies should be all about. But black movie should be all about. You know what I mean? So that is it. I don't know if you guys have heard about Yasuke. You can tell me what you all think about Yasuke. And if you haven't heard about Yasuke before, make sure you go check him out. He's a very great, he holds a very great historical greatness when it comes to African history. You know what I mean? So that is what I said. Let me come live here today, so that we can. It's really been long since I did live stream. Yeah, it's really been long. But like I said, we are still going to keep pushing forward. It has not been easy, but we'll keep pushing forward. So that's what I said. Let me come live here today to talk about today in this video. I don't know if it's a little bit dark or what. Okay. So I'll be putting out a video tomorrow talking about, some stuff about ancient Egypt, and then I'll be putting out this accurate historical story of Abubakari II of the Mali Empire. I've tried to record some of the video footages, and then from tomorrow I'll be putting out this video. So you all make sure you check it out and stay tuned to the channel.